Hi. This video should be interesting today. Just discovered about probably no more than 5 minutes ago that babies can actually project poo up to 1.5 feet. This ties right back into episode 3 about having a good prep diaper changing area because, I was luckily had a diaper right there. I was able to put it beneath and minimize the damage or amount of mess that hadn't cleaned up afterwards. Kind of interesting fact. My newborn daughter can project poo almost the same length as her body. What else is going on? In video 3 as well, or episode 3, I had reorganized a room. I actually had moved that room back. Some people had concerns about drafts and windows and stuff, which is totally fair because that was also kind of concern of mine, which I legitimized by using the double pane window. So it's gone back. I might be able to do a cutscene if I figure out how to do that on video editor. So I put the baby room back the way it used to be, and as well put an old foamy in between the bed and the wall to help, change or minimize the fluctuations in temperature in the bed. So I'm just sitting here having a wine before the night time. It's nice, this homemade brew that I made myself. Anyways, room's gone back to the way it was, which is good, and in fact works out all right for the fact that Lucy's finally got herself set on a schedule, or she already was on a schedule, and we now figured it out finally. So what we figured out with Lucy's schedule is from about 9 p.m. to 12 or till midnight. She is wide awake. There's no sleeping whatsoever. She's not usually hungry because she has food. Linda will feed her at 3, a really big feeding, and then she just doesn't want any more nipple anymore or anything. She just is weak. Needs to be looked at, needs to be handled around a lot, but she's really, really awake. So the last few nights, has just given up on trying to sleep from 9 to 12, which has worked out all right because I'm able to just turn on a movie or something and then soothe Lucy for those 3 hours till Linda wakes up again. She's hungry enough to have a proper feeding. But on the plus side, from midnight right through to about 9 a.m., Lucy will sleep straight through, and we'll have to wake her up every 3 hours to ensure that she still gets fed at a proper rate, but she'll go right back to sleep afterwards. So it's really been a blessing to us in many ways because we're able to actually get some pretty good night's sleeps. Advice to that, soothe Lucy as much as you can. I'm soothing her, walking around. Once I can run out of options and she's getting a little fussy, but she's still not hungry, I actually use my finger. She doesn't like the soother, so I have to use my finger to kind of soothe her for a bit. Linda also bottles. She uses the breast pump to bottle milk throughout the day, and it's not much. It's about enough for a small feeding, but that's all Lucy wants from 9 to 12. So I'll actually bottle feed Lucy during that time, and it seems to soothe her as well. Well, she doesn't really want much of it, but at least she has to taste the milk. And then she doesn't want any more. But she can drink from the bottle, which is good. She can be able to use the nipple and the bottle, which is going to make things easier when Linda has to go back to work in a few months' time. She's on a sleep cycle, which I think is good, and hopefully it stays that way, or does it change? What else? The other day, Linda went down to the public health nurse to see if she was breastfeeding properly, and the baby was latching, and it went really well. But afterwards, the public health nurse showed Linda some pamphlets about kind of baby get-together groups. But most of them were actually just mothers and babies. I think is a good reason. I mean, they don't want dads there if they want to breastfeed as a group and stuff. It might be awkward if there's guys, so it makes sense to leave. But Linda was a little upset, and she started asking, was there any daddy ones or any, doesn't matter? And so it kind of threw the public health nurse off a bit. And so she said, well, I think this one is, for mummies and daddies or for parents. But Linda was quite upset. Even after her leaving, she was a little upset. She wanted to make this fight. She wanted to get me to fight and really care about going to these baby groups. I don't know if I really want to go to them, but I think her grievance is kind of as valid in some ways. There isn't as many groups and stuff in the public system or out in the public for dads, stay-at-home dads with infants and stuff. And I think that directly correlates to feminism. I remember hearing on the radio they're talking about the glass ceiling, that even though everything's equal and there's not as much discrimination in the workplace, a lot of them still aren't going that extra at the top tiers of organizations. And I think that's less so the fault of guys in the organization or the way those institutions are set up themselves, but the fact that, you know, women do have to make a choice if they want to raise kids or not. And, you know, more often the woman, because there's more facilities allow women to take time off and, you know, to have like support groups such as these baby groups outside to help them after the fact once the babies come and they're staying home. So for them, it's more easy for them to take the time off, or it just seems to be the logical option where there's not much support groups for dads. So I think that's it's kind of an obstacle that I think Linda sees, that, you know, if there was more support structure for dads, more dads would be able or willing to take the option of staying back to help raise kids, which would allow women who want to proceed up through the hierarchy the option to do so because they're not obligated to stay home with the kids. I guess some food for thought. I'm really not strong opinions one way or the other. I don't want to fight this fight that Linda, I think, wants me to do, so I won't. But I have no problem staying back with Lucy. And I do see a reason why they have mummy-only groups. But yeah, I think she does have a point there, and maybe something for somebody else to pick up if they're ever interested in it. Anyways, that's pretty much about it for today. Not much of a video. Maybe next time do something interesting with the head cam again. But that's it for now. Take it easy.